Let me tell you something. The moment you walk into a casino, your body is being hacked. Seriously, your heart rate actually starts to sync up with the ambient music. Your skin temperature drops to a very precise 68 degrees, and that's not for comfort, it's to keep you alert. You think you've just entered a world of chance. Well, you're wrong. You are walking into what is probably the most aggressively engineered psychological environment on the entire planet. I mean, every single thing you see, hear, and feel, every angle, every sound, every crazy carpet pattern, even the very air you're breathing, it's all been meticulously designed. We're talking mathematicians, architects, behavioral psychologists all working together. And here's the thing, they don't just want your money. They want your ability to make decisions. And for more than 50 years, they've perfected the science of turning that ability completely off.
So, that's the big question, isn't it? How exactly do they build this trap? In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and reverse engineer this whole system, piece by piece. And we're going to start with the most basic thing, the very space you're standing in, the architecture itself.
Okay, let's start with the one trick everybody knows about. No clocks, no windows. We've all heard that one, but what almost nobody gets is the deep biological reason it's so incredibly effective. See, it's not just about hiding the time. It's about systematically destroying your internal clock. You see, your brain has this thing called a circadian rhythm, and it relies on external cues, or Zeitgebers, that's German for time givers. Things like sunlight, shadows, even the temperature dropping at night. These all regulate your hormones. When the sun goes down, your brain goes, okay, time to rest. When it comes up, all right, time to be alert. Casinos, they wage a direct war on this whole natural cycle. And here's where it gets really clever. They don't just remove your time cues, they actually replace them. They seal you off from the outside world entirely, creating this bubble where time just stops having any meaning. You're completely disconnected from day and night, just sort of floating in this eternal now. And let's talk about the light in that bubble. It's not just any light. They call it an ambient twilight. The lighting is specifically tuned to feel like the sun at, say, 2 p.m. or that golden hour in the early evening. Now, why would they do that? Well, think about it. At 2 p.m., you're not tired yet, but you're also not worried about the day ending. It's a state of endless potential. If you saw darkness outside, that little panic instinct would kick in, right? Oh man, I have work tomorrow. And if you saw the bright morning sun, the shame instinct activates. Wow, I've been here all night. This lighting, it surgically removes both of those feelings. And then there's the stuff right under your feet, the famously ugly casino carpet. This isn't just bad interior design. It is a weapon. A designer named Roger Thomas basically perfected this. The carpets have these wild, swirling, almost psychedelic patterns that give your eyes absolutely no place to rest. When you look down, your brain gets instant visual fatigue. It just feels chaotic. So what do you instinctively do? Your eyes snap up, right to the only visual safe space in the room, the clean, organized, soothing lines of a slot machine. Brilliant, right?
Okay, so they've messed with your sense of time, and they've directed your gaze. What's the next target? Your relationship with money itself.
We've all heard that casino chips don't feel like real money, and there's actually a neurological reason for that. It's a real thing called the pain of paying. Turns out, when you spend actual physical cash, a part of your brain called the insula lights up, and it's the same part that processes physical pain. So spending cash literally hurts. Casino chips are the anesthetic. They turn a painful transaction into a simple, painless part of the game. But modern casinos have taken this a whole step further with what's called TITO technology. Ticket in, ticket out. So you put in a $100 bill. That's the first and the last time you'll feel that little sting of pain. You play, you cash out, but you don't get cash back. No, you get a little piece of paper with a barcode on it worth, say, $72.40. To your brain, this thing feels like trash. It's just a receipt. So what do? You wander over to the next machine and just stick the paper in. Not even because you're dying to keep gambling, but just to get rid of this worthless feeling piece of paper. And just like that, they've successfully turned your wealth into a disposable barcode.
And that brings us to the heart of the beast, the engine of the entire casino floor, the modern slot machine. This is where the psychological engineering gets truly, truly deceptive.
I want you to take a good look at this button, this little stop button. It is probably the single greatest lie in the entire gambling industry. Why? Because it's designed to give you the illusion of control. You think that because you hit that button, you influenced where the reel stopped. You believe your timing, your skill, it actually had an impact.
But you didn't. Nope. Inside every one of these machines is a random number generator, or an RNG, and it's cycling through millions of outcomes every single second. The instant you hit spin, before the reels even start to move, the result is already locked in. The spinning, the sounds, that button you press, it's all just an animation. It's a movie designed to convince you that you're in charge, when really, the ending was written before the show even started.
But this is where the engineering gets really sinister. It's called the near miss. You see, with old mechanical slot machines, the odds were straightforward. But today's digital reels are programmed. They use something called virtual reel mapping. So imagine a digital wheel with 100 stops. Only one of those is the jackpot, but maybe 50 are just losing blanks. Well, the computer is programmed to put those losing blanks right next to the jackpot symbol way more often than random chance ever would.
So why do they do this? Because that programmed near miss does something very specific to your brain. It triggers a reward prediction error. Your brain doesn't see a loss. It sees a puzzle it almost solved. It thinks, I've almost got this. I was so close. I just need to adjust my timing by a fraction of a second. And suddenly, you're not fighting luck anymore. You're fighting a pre-programmed algorithm that was designed specifically to tease you into playing again and again. And the final nail in the coffin? That's the LDW, the loss disguised as a win. In the old days, you bet on one line. You either won or you lost. Simple. Today, you might bet $1 across 50 lines at once. And then the machine just erupts. Lights are flashing, music swells up in this big, happy C major chord, and the counter starts ticking up. You won 40 cents. Except you bet $1. You actually just lost 60 cents, but the machine is throwing a party for you. It creates this constant stream of positive reinforcement, masking the slow, steady drain of your money. So what's the end game here? What's the ultimate goal of all this stuff? The timeless environment, the fake money, the illusion of control, the constant false celebrations. It's all designed to guide you into a very specific psychological state. People in the industry call it the machine zone. In this state, players lose all awareness of their body, of being hungry, even of their own sense of self. They get into this hypnotic, rhythmic state of continuous flow. And what's really fascinating is that at this point, they aren't even playing to win anymore. In fact, winning a big jackpot actually interrupts the flow because the machine has to stop to count everything up. Addicts in the zone actually report getting annoyed by jackpots because it breaks the hypnosis. They are playing for one thing, for the credit counter to hit 0, because that's the only thing that finally gives them permission to stop. And while you're in that trance-like state, guess what? You're not alone. They are watching. This is the final, most modern layer of the trap. It's not a passive environment anymore. It's an active learning surveillance system. Every single button you press, every bet you make, every little hesitation, it's all fed into a massive database. The system actually calculates your personal pain point, the exact moment it thinks you're about to give up and walk away. And when the algorithm detects you're near that limit, it pings a manager who swoops in with a free drink or a meal voucher. It's not a reward. It is a precisely timed intervention designed to reset the cycle and pull you right back into the zone. Look, a casino is an absolute masterpiece of human engineering, psychology, and math. It's a machine designed to mine your dopamine and harvest your money. You can walk in for some entertainment, you can enjoy the spectacle, but you have to remember this one crucial thing. If you think you are playing a game, you are mistaken. You are the one being played. So that leaves us with one final thought. We all know the saying, right? The house always wins. But when you understand the science behind this perfect trap, you have to ask a totally different question. Does the house just win? Or has it already decided the outcome before you even parked your car?